Namaskar parents, and welcome back to our channel The Journey of a Mother. So in today's video we'll be talking about the ways we can help our babies eat with their hands, especially the toddlers who are just gradually learning how to eat. Eating with a clean washed hands is one of the most traditional way of Indian eating, the way people eat in India at a very large scale. So now before we introduce eating with hands to our kids, we as parents need to understand why we should. Ayurveda has innumerous reasons why you should prefer eating with your hands instead of any other options that is available. Here I would like to mention that eating with hand is absolutely your choice, your convenience and your comfort should be taken into consideration while you are training your child to eat. I also would like to emphasize that it is not important that you teach your child absolutely to eat only with your hands, or absolutely insist him or her eating with forks or spoons. Or I think a child or any human being should be ready to adapt themselves in any kind of situation, and they should be able to eat the foods that is served in front of them the way they are eaten. If there's an Indian food, it is meant to be eaten by hands, and so we should eat, or we should use hands. And if it's a Western, continental, Italian or any other kind of cuisine, then the concerned utensils can be used for that. So coming back to the question as to why we should introduce our children to eat with hands. So there is an entire science behind it. The textbooks of Ayurveda deals properly with that. But however, to enumerate some of the reasons, um, eating with hands is also known as mindful eating. Now, it is called mindful eating because it takes all your concentration to look at the food, smell it, and feel the texture of the food. In India, we eat a variety of food, so some are soft, some needs to be broken by hands, some are hard, soft, and different kinds of cuisines that we eat. So it is important that we teach our children to eat with hands. The very interaction of food with the tip of your finger sends a very strong signal to your brain to prepare your stomach to take the food in and process it for digestion. So that is one scientific reason why we Indians prefer the traditional way of eating with hands instead of spoons. And that is one reason why we need to teach our kids to learn to eat with hands. So the next point is that when we use all our five fingers, we kind of balance the five elements of a body, which again you can find a description of the detailed description in any of the Ayurvedic book. Our body, according to Ayurveda, is composed of five basic elements, that is Akash, Vayu, Prithvi, Jal and Agni. The other reason is a very common sense reason, that when we tend to eat with our hands, or when we are using our hands, we first of all get to know the temperature of the food at the very first touch of it. However, when we are using a fork or a chopstick, we might not know the exact heat the food is containing, and that is how we just might end up into an accident of burning your tongue or maybe your tonsils. So that is one way you can avoid that. And so in the video ahead, you'll get to see how I am trying to teach my child to eat with his hand. It gets very messy, of course, but then you have to keep cleaning, because unless babies practice, unless they create that extra mess, they won't be learning. So you have to be a little on your toes in that terms, and that is just for a couple of days maybe, when they finally master how to eat properly themselves. So he's just I am just teaching him, is just the beginning, and there has been a little improvement, and I'm expecting a little more. At the same time, if you are or if your child is also a toddler, you should definitely teach this Indian traditional way of eating. And it is also to, sort of preserve and promote our culture tradition, because there's an immense science related to every little thing that we do. And that needs to be taught to our generations who are coming up. And so we need to teach them the little things that we do in our daily household work, so as to enable them to come up or to develop as a complete human being. So that's for now. See you on the other part of the video. So now, how exactly should you train your toddler to eat with hands, and that too comfortably without creating any mess? So there are certain things that we as parents have to take into consideration. So before we give them a chance to try to eat their own food with their own hands, we should demonstrate that. A child is a very good observer. They observe each and everything, whether you think that they are observing or not, but they are very keen. They are listening everything, they're watching everything, even when they're not looking at you properly with concentration, but they are. So in order to help them, or in order to teach them how to eat with their hands, you need to first eat and show the way, the process. You have to put in the dal and mix it with rice and with sabzi, and you eat. Make sure that you have your toddler around when you're eating. Some people in some families have different times of eating, so whenever there's somebody, make sure that your child is there to just to watch them. So make sure that your toddler is observing the way you are eating. That is the first lesson that they get. And then demonstrate them properly how to eat it. If possible, talk to them, tell them, now I'm putting in dal, now I'm putting sabzi, and I'm mixing it, and I'm going to put that in my mouth. It's very simple thing, but then they do get to learn. Even when you think that they're not listening or understanding, they are understanding. Gradually you'll see the effect of it. So to start with, you can give them some dry items to eat. Maybe just a roti, roll it and give it to them, or any dry item you can just allow them to eat with their hands. And gradually you can come to a texture which is not very solid, which is not very liquid, like dal, rice, sabzi, proper sabzi. Also here, I suggest that parents should put a proper plate of their baby, which consists of dal, rice, sabzi, roti, like a proper Indian food which an adult would eat. I think you should serve the same plate with little less quantity to your toddlers, because that is very important. Otherwise, maybe they will not be able to correlate exactly. If you give them dal, rice, and sabzi in a small bowl, they won't be able to correlate it as to how you eat and what he is being served. So it is important that you serve a proper plate of the entire lunch or dinner or breakfast that has been prepared. And this process is going to be really messy, but the good news is that it is not going to be a permanent one. And it is always better, the sooner you teach them, the less burden you will be, because gradually it will be then just mastering it. So the initial part of it is going to be messy. So make sure that when you're giving them food, you are placing them in a place where there's less likelihood of getting the things dirty. And for that you can use plastic cover on your dining table, or beeps. I tried, but then my toddler doesn't like wearing beeps, so that is a complete failure. I always have to change his clothes after he's done his meals. So whatever suits you, you can just modify things for according to your suitability. And the other point is that you have to be with them. You just can't serve food, and even if the baby is big enough, 2.5 or 3, you must sit with them. There are reasons why. I mean, first reason is that this there's always good to eat with a company. The other thing is, the very important thing is that toddlers, when they start learning how to eat with their own hand, they're super excited for it, and they would just want to pick everything and put everything all at one time in their mouth. So you just have to stop them, as to know, now you need to stop, finish what's in your mouth first, and then you can have another bite. So that is the way. You have to be there in order to assure that they are not choking, or they're not taking in excess food. Make sure you have water ready, a wet napkin, so that you can just wipe the mess that falls while in the process of eating. So that has to be cleaned, and they might just need water, so you have to get their glass ready. And here again, people usually use sippers, or maybe a water bottle, or maybe plastic water bottle. I would always suggest parents to use copper glasses, or maybe glass made glasses, and steel glasses, and avoid giving plastic to your baby, and avoid promoting them just to drink water with their sippers. They should be equally comfortable drinking with glass, and it is not a big task. You give them small glasses initially, and then you'll see that gradually they are able to handle big heavy glasses as well, and they will not break it, that is for sure. And so you have to keep ready these two things: water and a wet hanky, to clean the excess of the mess. Cleaning their hands before and after they eat. It is very important that you give them an idea and develop them a habit of cleaning their hands before and after they eat. So for that, you can just take them to the washroom, or maybe the kitchen sink, and you can wash their hands properly. When you put that into a habit, they will gradually have a sense that before they go on to eat their food, they need to clean their hands. And after they are done eating, you can gradually pick them up and get their hands washed, and then you can clean the mess that is there. Initially, you can just let them be raw, let them just eat the way they want to, without giving them any instructions, whatever way they are eating. Gradually, you can just help them politely, that better you need to eat like this, you do not have to drop things, and you don't have to waste food. Because toddlers are usually in a habit that once they're eating, once they like something, they just want to jump onto the food. And once their stomach is half done, or maybe full done, they will just start pushing the plate, or maybe spilling all around, throwing food all around. So you have to be watchful for that, and you have to keep teaching them that they do not need to waste food, that they have to be very clean while eating, that they do not have to drop. It takes a little bit of time, it takes consistency, persistency, and then gradually a child learns. So you just have to be consistent with that. It just can't be taught in 2 or 3 days. It does take maybe a couple of weeks to properly train them how to eat by themselves. And so after they are done eating, they're finished eating, you can just change their clothes if they are dirty and messy, And or if your toddler is comfortable wearing a bib, that is very good enough for you, and so you can just change the bib, and then they are good to go. And there's a lot of connection related to food. Just imagine the entire universe is working just for food. So it is really good when you get to feel and live your food. And so I hope you liked the video, and if you do, please give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe our channel for more videos. And do let us know in the comment section whatever your questions are. Maybe we will try to find some answer to it, or maybe you want another topic for me to make videos. You can just let me know, and we will make sure that we do come up with videos that is required. And so, to all those excellent parents, see you next time. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Namaste.